Hello friends, welcome back to tutorialsrays, and in this video you are learning TypeScript. So guys, in this series you will be knowing what is modules in TypeScript. Module is a very important chapter in TypeScript, because you will be always calling one module to another module, you will be exporting, you will be importing. So the concept of modules you have to understand, then it will be easier to understand Angular or Next.js. So guys, the question is, the modules are essential for organizing, reusing and maintaining the code in TypeScript. They help encapsulate functionality, avoid global scope partition and enable efficient dependency management. So now, why we use module? So that is the central question. Why should use module? The first one is encapsulation. Keep variables, functions private unless explicitly export. Reusability. Share code across the file. Suppose you have created one file and you want to access this into different other files. That is possible through modules. Structure. Break down complex apps into manageable pieces. Dependency management. Explicitly declare the dependency. So these are the important features which is provided by the module system. Key concepts. TypeScript supports two module systems, ES6 module and common JS module, which is used in Node.js. Require import export. So we will see here import export. This guide focuses on ES module, and as you know, the TypeScript is based on ES module only. Now named export. So how will do it? This is the file utils.ts. For example, you have created a file called util.ts. Now what we are doing, const py, we are exporting this, just putting export keyword. Similarly, this is a function, and now this function is exported just using this keyword. Now this is a class, and either you can directly export from here, or you can write export later. You can see here the class in two cases. In these two cases we have written directly export here, but in this case we have exported like this. So both the methods are correct. Now after exporting, we will import in another file. For example, this is app.ts. So how we will import? Py sum calculator from utils, and now whatever calculation you have to do, you can do the calculation here. So as you can see, it is easier because it's written, logic is written in one file, and now we are calling into and doing the calculation into another file. So that is important part. Now default export. You will see at a lot of places default export. So what is this actually? Default export actually in a single file. You see this example, in a single file, the file name is utils.ts, but we are exporting 1, 2 and 3 files, right? 3 files. But if you use default export, here you see default export default. If you use this export default, in that case, in single file you can export only one. So that is major difference. For importing, one important point here, while importing without default export, we use curly braces. Inside that we write this name. But for default export, where it says export default, in that case when you will be importing, there is no curly braces, directly we will be importing. So that is the major difference. Combining named and default exports. If you have to, this math.js export and export default, if you want to add all these, then you can do like this. Py, if you are calling here, then import add and then py. Since this is normal and this one is default, that's why we are not putting here curly braces, and here we are putting curly braces. So normally what happens, in a single file export default is used, but if situation arises, then more than one also can be exported, but for importing you will have to use the technique like this. Renaming exports import. While exporting, you can write like this, sum as add 2 numbers. So rather than add 2 numbers, you can export as sum. Here my logger means while creating the export method, you can rename it, short name you can give, and now while importing, one can just import with this name. Now re-exporting the barrel files, means if you have more than one file, then default as add from this re-exporting, means once have been exported, again we are exporting from here. So that is called, so that way you can export like this. And now import everything as a namespace. So see here, import star as utils from utils. That means what? We are not naming anything. That means we are telling that import everything whatever is inside this utils module. Means we are not providing any specific name. We are telling that import all, everything whatever is in this one, import all. So this is the one of the way. So that's it. So guys, we will see this all practically in our Angular chapter. So that's it. I hope that you understand that how this import and export works. Actually, all files which has export becomes module. Simple. The TS file, any TS file, when you write their export, then that becomes module, and that is the concept of whole this module system. So guys, hope you understand this, that what this export and import is, and we will be seeing this of course in our Angular tutorial. So stay connected and see you in the next chapter. Bye bye.